Right. So we were at the chapter of feedbacks. Now the role of feedback is to stabilize the gain and for the high precision. So for that we go for negative feedback, and positive feedback generally introduce the oscillations. So when we introduce the negative feedback in the system, there is certain changes in the gain as well as the impedance and two in the bandwidths. So we started with the negative feedback. This was your general architecture, feedback architecture, and in this we have seen this is the transfer function. This was your open loop gain. This is your feed forward amplifier. And 1 minute, where is the pen? Insert. So this was your open loop gain, and this was the denominator which was reducing the feed forward gain of the amplifier. So then coming to the any amplifier, just a simple amplifier, a common source this is your common source amplifier. Okay, like here V in was given and here V out was taken. This was your RD and this was your VDD. But when we introduce the feedback component, when we introduce any feedback element or circuit, we need to introduce the four components. First, in an amplifier, first a feed forward amplifier will be there. That is a simple amplifier. Then there at the output there must be some way to sense the output, where which type of output is generated, whether it is a form of voltage or whether a form of current. So based on this two sensing, there will be two sensing at the output terminal. If it is sensing voltage, this means definitely there will be a high resistance introduced, because when we sense voltage we generally use, like in labs we use voltmeter. Voltmeter means we connect in parallel to the component where we want to measure the voltage. 1 minute, some message came as a joint. Okay, where we want to measure the voltage, so we connect in parallel. So we in parallel means what? In parallel means the total, the infinite, the measuring device has infinite resistance. Okay, the simply if we are measuring current we are connecting in series, so we need a low resistance path. Now why these two are important, that whenever we do circuit analysis and if we are sensing voltage or current, then we must ensure that whether it is giving me in the form of current or voltage, whether it is giving me exact information or not. Okay, the slide movements are there. Okay, so now coming to the then the third component is the feedback network. After it senses the output, whichever component will sense the output, generally the output sensed either in the form of voltage or current, it will give back to the, it will give back to the input. So how it will give back? Through the network, that is your feedback network. And it will give in either in the form of as a subtraction if it is in series, or a addition if it is a voltage. We connect in series fashion, because if we need to add or subtract voltage we need to connect in series. If it is a sensing current, then we need to take a particular node, and there in the shunt configuration or in the parallel, there the current can add or subtract. Okay, so feedback network is there. Then the fourth component is the feedback error generation. Like when we are processing in the feedback network, the output of the feed forward is the input to the feedback. So input to the feedback, it is decided by the sensing. Now in the feedback network, what type of output is generated by feedback network, whether it is voltage or current. So based on that, again the estimation of resistance is done. If the feedback network output is voltage, then definitely there will be a low resistance. Why? Because we need to do a series connection. If the feedback network is producing current, this means we have to do the shunt connection. Okay, then this was your number fifth class in the, this was your feedback network. And then we calculated the transfer function. So when we calculated the transfer function, then we have seen the loop gain beta. So the loop gain beta is, what is the loop gain beta? The loop gain beta actually decides that how the gain will be sensitive to the variations. Okay, so if we maintain like a beta very high, then I can make gain to be equivalent to 1 by beta. So my gain becomes independent of the device parameter, which was generally the GM, which was playing role everywhere. Okay, so once the device becomes independent of the, once the gain becomes independence of device dependence, then we can go for different, like it will become temperature independent or it will become process independent. Okay, Then the question come, if loop gain is such an important, then how to analyze the loop gain of any complex amplifier? So there were four steps to analyze this loop gain. Number one step is set the input to zero. If it is a voltage, you will short circuit. If it is a current, you will open circuit. Then you break the loop at the output section. At the output section from the Y node, if we break the loop and then attach a test voltage to the feedback network, and then around the loop, around the open loop, you calculate what is the effective voltage generated due to Vt voltage, the test voltage of the feedback. That the ratio of Vf by Vt will give you the loop gain estimation. Okay, once we know the loop gain, that beta and a already we know because it is a simple amplifier, we can estimate what is the beta ratio. So that was the importance of, that is the way to calculate the loop gain. Then we have taken one example, like a common source amplifier, the simple common source amplifier with a current source load. So when a current source load was there, we know the gain was gm into rd, rd parallel to r naught, but here rd is infinite, so gain is only gm r naught. And then when the feedback is associated, feedback means here what we see here, if you see here this component, it was c2 and c1 divider network was there. So what the c2 is doing, c2 is attached to the node of the output, but since it is not connected to the ground, it will extract some of the current from this one, and it will through the c1, the voltage will be generated, which will be either it will be the plus to vgs or minus to vgs, and correspondingly the output will be generated. So this is the way. So we estimate what will be the effective voltage, what is the effective net voltage after the feedback is introduced, what is the net voltage the vgs is experiencing, and according to that the output current will be shown. So since it is a negative feedback, definitely my output will reduce what was earlier without the loop. Okay, and this way then we calculated what will the feedback ratio. Then another property was negative feedback property was here to calculation of loop gain beta. So these were the four steps to calculate, and then we estimate vf by beta value. And here the calculation is shown, like first step is you analyze which is the feedback element, then you short circuit. Here we have done short circuit because it was a voltage source at the input, and then we attach a test voltage, and the test voltage, and then we taken the ratio of vf by vt. So what is vf here? So this is a common source amplifier with a current source load, and we know v naught by vi is equals to gm into r naught. So what is happening here, this vi is nothing but your vx terminal, and what is vx is given by this network, this equation vt into c2 by c1 plus c2, and just equating you will get the value of vf by vt. So and we know this is your a, so definitely this will be your beta value. Okay, so estimating the loop again and beta we estimate. Now the thing to remember here is we are calculating gain separately, and then we are calculating a beta. From there we are substituting the gain, and then we are calculating beta. So in all these calculations we are neglecting the loading effect. Okay, like an amplifier is there, okay, he is giving some gain a, and when I will attach feedback, any passive component, definitely some loading will come. So that time my gain a should not be exact a, but it should be somewhat different. But here for calculations we are taking exact gain a when we are predicting beta. This means we are doing some approximations. This means that whatever the gain we will calculate, the closed loop gain, that will be not the exact value but the approximate value, because we have neglected the loading effect. So coming to slide 10, other feedback properties were it will modify the impedance, because due to introduction of passive components to the output terminal with respect to input, definitely there will be range in, there will be some loading effect, so there will be some change in the input impedance as well as to the output impedance. And also we know that gain bandwidth product generally we said for an amplifier is constant. So if a gain is becoming, if your this if your gain is being reduced, so definitely my bandwidth of frequency response should improve. So that is visible in negative feedback, the bandwidth will always try to improve. Okay, and also it will reduce the non-linearity, and this was the case in the graph. We have seen that a naught decreases by a naught by 1 plus a beta, with the same ratio it increases. That's why in your op-amp we say that our gain bandwidth product is always constant. Gain bandwidth product is always constant. If we reduce the gain, increase the bandwidth. Okay, Now then we switch to amplifiers. So in the amplifier there are basically two elements at the input and two elements at the output. If we consider a two port network, in a two port network what happens, there are two elements at the input port. Suppose this is your input port and that is your output port. So input port is having VIN, current I input, it is having V0 and I0. So when I take the transfer function, when I am talking about amplifier, I am talking about the gain. Okay, so if I am taking the ratio of V in by V out by V in, it is your voltage amplifier. If I am taking of V out by I in, there will be some impedance type amplifier. So there are total four combinations will generate. Okay, so number one was your voltage amplifier where the ratio of V out by V in was taken in consideration. So then the symbolic representation is given here and practical case, and one example we have taken, and we have seen that voltage output, how to decide voltage amplifier. Just check at the output what type of variable is generated. If it is a voltage, so definitely my output is voltage. Then I will check the input, what is the input excitation given to the circuit. If it is a current, it will be a current input. If it is a voltage, then it will be a voltage input. And then to take the ratio of output variable to the input variable, that will decide the nature of the amplifier. So in the first case this is V out and V in, so ratio will be your unitless, that is your voltage amplifier. The second amplifier is your the ratio of V out by I in. So when I take the ratio of V out by I in, so V by I is nothing but your impedance. Okay, V by I is nothing but your impedance. Impedance means your resistance like. So impedance, why I'm saying here, because when we are dealing with amplifier, we are not restricted only with the DC analysis, we are dealing with also the AC. So instead of calling resistance, I will call as a impedance because frequency component will be introduced. So this type of amplifier is called your trans impedance amplifier because their transfer of impedance is happening. So trans impedance amplifier means output will be your V out and input will be your current form. So we are and then we have taken one example, and there we have seen output by input ratio of other output by input ratio, it's giving your trans impedance representation. Okay, in a trans impedance or voltage amplifier there can be n number of transistors. The only thing you have to check is what is the main output generated, either voltage or current, and what was the main input given, input voltage or input current. The ratio of that will decide what is the nature of amplifier. We will not go node by node. Then the third type of amplifier is your output is in the third type the output is your I out and the input is your V in. So it is I by V. Now we know I by V is nothing but your transconductance, which is denoted by G. So the third type of amplifier is your transconductance amplifier. So transconductance means transfer of conductance. This means output variable is your current and input variable is your voltage. So ratio of this is your called your transconductance amplifier. And also another name somewhat time it is given as voltage to current converter. Okay, what it is doing, input is voltage and output I am taking as a current. Now the thing to remember is in trans impedance and transconductance we have unit. For the trans impedance amplifier we have unit of ohms, and for your transconductance amplifier we have unit of mho. So what is happening here, these two are also amplifiers, but these are not unitless because the output variable and input variable are not the same. So there is a terminology that for the trans impedance we saw it is a current to voltage converter, and for a transconductor we saw voltage to current converter, but your voltage and current amplifier are unitless quantity. Then the fourth amplifier was your current amplifier where the ratio of output to the input current was taken, and we have taken one example. Okay, then we come to sensing and returning signal. So sensing and returning depends upon how the element feedback element is attached. So we have seen if a voltage node is being sensed, if suppose a voltage amplifier is there, or if I need to sense the voltage, so what I will do, the part of output is taken through the element. So whenever we need to compute the voltage, definitely one of the nodes should be at the ground, then only I can compute the voltage drop. So in order to calculate the voltage I need a ground potential, but in order to calculate the current just I need a volt, the node, in the node we need just a division. Okay, so this way it is a shortcut method just to recall that whether I am sensing voltage or current. So in the first architecture, if you see R1 is connected to the ground through the R2, this means whatever current extracted by R2 and R1, there will be some voltage drop across R1, and this voltage drop is nothing but your, it is sensing your voltage. And once it is sensing this voltage and it is coming in the adder, so in the adder form, generally this means adder means it is not doing any parallel combination, it is adding something. So when it is adding something, this means it is a series connection. So once again I am doing here voltage addition, so it is sensing voltage and giving as a voltage. So what the conclusion drawn is here, when I am sensing voltage I am doing at some node n1, when I am giving input that feedback voltage I am giving at some other node, that is n2. This means if I need to do the voltage subtraction or addition, two different nodes will be required. Okay, because at a particular node voltage will be always same. So indirectly it is saying that whenever we are doing voltage sensing and giving voltage, different nodes must exist. But in the current case it is not always the same. Current case the node can be same because we need to do the current division or subtraction. Current division and subtraction, if you recall your KCL, just a node is enough. When we do the nodal analysis, the current division and subtraction take place only at a single node. So here in the second figure, if you see the complete current what is extracted from the output, here it is generated here at this node and it is given back to the element adder network. Here no part of voltage, output voltage is taken, the complete Vout will appear here. Okay, so through this R1, here the current will flow like this. The current sensing is happening here. Then again these are the same. So for the voltage subtraction we need different nodes, for the current subtraction we need the same node. Now coming to the topic feedback types, how many types of feedbacks can be there? Like 4 types of amplifiers are there. So feedback can be given in 4 forms. Just I said, because we are dealing with input, because we are dealing with two port network, where this is your input port and this is your output port. So we have V input and I input, and we have V output and I output. And when I will design, this is your amplifier, and when I will design beta network, again this will have your VNI and it will give me again VNI. So total again the 4 variables are there, so 4 combinations can exist. So in the base of 4 combinations, 4 type of feedbacks can be given. Okay, so but all these feedback analysis we are doing under no load effect. Okay, we are as individually calculating the gain, we are individually calculating the beta value. Okay, so the first type of feedback network can be given is your voltage feedback. This means here whenever we will write voltage feedback, this means first variable is your output, the second variable is your input. Okay, so this means your beta is sensing your voltage and giving as a, your beta is giving output as a voltage and sensing also input as a voltage. So it is sensing here input, for this beta it is input and this is output. Okay, so it is sensing output, it is sensing the output of the amplifier as a voltage and it is giving its output also as a voltage. So it is called voltage feedback. Okay, another name is for this one is your series shunt. In many books you will see the series shunt configuration. So in that case, remember the order reverse, the first is your input and the second becomes your output. Okay, so whenever the configuration, like say your feedback network is in the form of voltage feedback, this means your output of the beta is your voltage and input also is your voltage. But when I will say series shunt configuration, this means the input to the beta is your series connection. Sorry, the input to the feedback the input to the beta network is your series connection and the output of the beta network is in the shunt configuration. Okay. So one by one, when we will go through the this one feedback network, then we'll see what this series shunt actually means. Then second type of configuration is your voltage current feedback, and this is also known as your shunt configuration. This means it will sense the output voltage and it will return the current to the amplifier. And since in the first case it is voltage, so ratio less was there, so voltage gain is given by AV. In the second case it is voltage to current, so the ratio is V by I, that is your R naught. So amplifier name I have given as a R naught. In the third case it is a current voltage feedback, which is also known as series. This will, what will happen, it will sense the current and it will give output as a, it will return output as a voltage. Okay, and since it is the ratio of I by V, so we call it as a transconductance, GM. And then the third case is your current feedback, which is also known as shunt series. It is sensing your current and it is returning also your current, and the gain is called your current gain, AI. Now we'll do the brief of this all voltage feedback. So the first is your voltage feedback. Now look at the architecture. It consists of feed forward amplifier and the beta network. So since this is a voltage feedback, this means it will sense the voltage and it will return the voltage. So in the feed forward amplifier, the output, it is sensing voltage and it is returning here. Again we have voltage is generated, and then this voltage we need to add or subtract with the input. So here it is given in series connection. Now look here, it is series shunt configuration. So this here, what is type of configuration at V out is there? This is your shunt, okay, and this is your series. Okay, so this is shunting means in parallel. So output I am doing a shunting connection for the beta, this one, and input I am giving in the series form. This means at the output of the beta, which is the input, at the output of the amplifier, which is input to the beta, what should be the resistance? It's just like a voltmeter connection. This means here the input resistance should be very high. This means a beta network should have high input resistance. Similarly, at the output side, if I am doing a series connection, a series type, if you see, because we have to add voltage, we have to do series. So when I am doing series, it's just like your it's just like your ammeter connection. So your low resistance should be experienced by the beta network. Okay, so it is also called as your series shunt configuration, where series is your input and shunt is your output. Okay, so this way we identify which type of network is this one. Now what are the other consequences? Now since it is a negative feedback, my gain will always reduce. By what factor? Desensitivity factor, that is 1 plus A beta. So here A is nothing but your amplifier's gain, so that is 1 plus AV into beta. The second observation is the input resistance will always increase by a factor of A beta. Here the RI, the input resistance of the amplifier, will increase by A beta, and your output resistance will decrease by A beta. Okay, now instead of remembering, I will give you one shortcut how to identify. Now if you see here the input resistance, the input resistance, if you see here the input resistance, where is this one? 1 minute. Okay, this shortcut I will explain in the circuit, that will be more better. Just now remember the input resistance by increase by a factor of this one, and output resistance will decrease by factor of 1 plus A beta. The second okay, here the circuit came. So this is your voltage feedback. Now see, this is your loop amplifier, and this at the output we have a voltage divider network. So in this voltage divider network, you see R1 and R2. So through R2, a part of output voltage generated is given back to the amplifier. So what is the open loop gain? Open loop gain is gained by A naught, and your in order to calculate the loop gain beta, what I will do here, the connection, I will make connection like this, plus minus. The first I will make input to the 0, which is giving A naught, and here V naught was there. I must have shown A beta. Okay, and then we'll give here minus here, we'll break the loop. So this is R2, R1, and here we'll attach here plus minus Vt. Okay, and then we'll calculate Vf by Vt. This is nothing but this will change to Vf voltage. So when we'll calculate Vf by Vt, we'll get loop gain of A0 into R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, now this is the circuit based. Now see here, here the at the output terminals C1 and C2 are your voltage divider network. So if I forget this voltage divider network, then what was the loop gain? Loop gain is just a simple current mirror based differential amplifier, and the open loop gain was given by this value. However, when I will calculate this beta value, a beta, then you will get a beta as this one. How? Just you will sort this part and will attach from here plus minus Vt, and then here at x voltage with respect to Vt will come, and that will replace here, then we will get a beta as this value. Okay, calculations you can see in book, simple calculation, 2-3 steps are there, that's why I am not shown. Okay, so this way we predicted a beta. Now we know a, so we can easily calculate beta. So what will be beta in this case? So beta will be here C1 by C1 plus C2. Okay, so again we see here in all the cases the beta is becoming frequency independent. It is only in terms of passive components. Now this is the third example. Again here the same thing. What is the open loop gain if I break this path? So what will be the open loop gain? It is nothing but V out by Vp. Okay, no, sorry, yeah, input is given at this node. So which type of amplifier is this one? This is nothing but your common gate amplifier. Now if you recall your common gate amplifier, what was the gain? The gain was given by plus of Gm into Rd. Okay, so input was here, so plus Gm Rd, this was the gain of common gate amplifier, so that is here, that is called your open loop gain. And then again we'll attach here plus minus Vt, and this will change to Vf, and then we'll calculate Vf by Vt, we'll get this value, and then I can say that closed loop gain is equals to Gm1 into Rd divided by 1 plus beta, beta is C1 by C1 plus C2 into, let's write here Gm1 into Rd, and where beta is equals to C1 by C1 plus C2. Okay, so this way we estimate the gains. Okay. Now the second type of configuration is a voltage current configuration, voltage current feedback. So voltage current feedback, it is nothing but your trans impedance amplifier. It is talking about your R0. So your feed forward amplifier unit will be your R0. So your amplifier gain will be denoted by R0 value. Now output is your, now if you see here, what is the output is your voltage, and input it is given as a current. So when I will sense the output as a voltage, this means I have to do the shunt configuration. So this is your shunt configuration. When I have to feed as a current as the input, so I have to do the again current means same node, so there we cannot do series connection, again we have to do the shunt connection. So this is your shunt connection. Okay, so now when I will see the beta, so when I will see here a shunt connection at the output, a shunt connection at the input, so it is also known as shunt configuration. Okay, another name is given as shunt configuration. It is sensing voltage and returning current, sensing voltage, returning current. Now since the feed forward gain is given by R0, feed forward gain is your, this is your gain is R0, then what should be my beta? Now I know that everything gain or anything is reduced by a by 1 plus a beta. This means this is the unit, this must be your unitless, this must be your unitless, this complete factor must be unitless, then only it will add to 1. So becoming to unitless, if it is R0, what should be feedback? Feedback should be opposite of the amplifier's unit. So here the amplifier unit is R0 impedance, so feedback network must be in the form of Gm, then only it will cancel out. So that's why a feedback network will consist of Gm value. However, in the earlier case, it was your amplifier gain, A was your unit loss, so beta can be anything. no issue in that. Okay, beta should be also a unitless quantity. So here the beta was unitless. So if you see here, where is this one? Here, this is beta is your unitless because your gain was unitless. But in this case, the gain is having unit of ohm, so your feedback network must have unit of maho. Okay, then only it will cancel out. So now coming to the observation, your R naught will reduce by a factor of 1 plus gm R naught. Your input resistance will decrease by a factor of the common factor, that is 1 plus a beta, here 1 plus rgm, because r is your gain and gm is your feedback, and your output resistance will boost up here. I'm sorry, not boost up, it will decrease. Okay, if both resistance will decrease here. Okay. Now suppose if you are getting difficulty in remembering that, what will gain will always reduce, no issue in that. First observation, gain will always reduce, no issue in that. Then the calculation, because which type of gain, so looking at the output and input variable, you can decide which type of gain, whether it is voltage or current, or it is a trans impedance, or it is a trans conductance. That is also easy. Then coming to the beta network, so beta network should be unitless or with unit, that you can decide based on the feed forward amplifiers unit. So that is also fine. So then the third is your gain will reduce, that is also fine, because 1 plus a beta you will substitute, you can easily reduce the gain, it will always reduce. Now coming to the input output resistance, it will sometime increasing, it is sometime decreasing. How to predict, how to recall in a short form, just you see, if it is a shunt configuration, okay, if it is in the shunt configuration, always the resistance will decrease. Okay, because in shunt configuration it will become in parallel. In parallel means overall impedance will try to reduce, but when I will do series connection, the resistance is getting added up to the existing resistance, means overall resistance will decrease, sorry, overall resistance will increase. So whenever if you see the shunt configuration, your resistance you will decrease, and whenever you will see the series configuration, your resistance will increase. Okay, so based on this concept, you can easily recall what will be the effect of feedback on the impedances. So this was your voltage current feedback. Now coming to the example of voltage current feedback, this is your amplifier. So if you see which type of amplifier it is, output is your voltage and input is your current. This means it is talking about V out by I in. This is nothing but it is talking about your impedance Z. So it is a trans impedance amplifier. Simply you can say the short form is TIA, trans impedance amplifier. Okay. And then after you identify the type of amplifier, the second thing you have to identify which is the feedback component. So feedback component is your C1 and C2. Okay, so feedback component is C1 and C2. Then how this feedback component is acting, whatever this current is coming here, some current will go here and some current will go here. So this current is given coming back here, here a voltage will be generated, and this voltage will be given to the this M1 value, and then effective resistance will be formed here. This effective resistance in parallel with I in will give you, this total will give you your V in voltage, and then the ratio of V out by V in will give you the gain, that is your common gate amplifier gain. So you see here the C1 is extracting current, okay, it is sensing current. Then C2 is developing voltage and it is giving in a series form to the VGS value. That VGS is generating ID1 current, that ID1 current will generate R01 value. That R01 in parallel to IN will generate the V in voltage, and that V in and V out ratio will give you the gain of the amplifier, that is your common gate amplifier gain. Okay, so now the calculation of gain is shown here. This was the amplifier. The first thing is set the input to 0. So input 0 means what will happen to this one, this current will become open circuit. Okay, because it is a current form. If it is a voltage, it will become short circuit. Second, detach the feedback element. So feedback element is C1. So detach the feedback element, attach the VF voltage here and a test voltage here, and then calculate VF by VT ratio, and that VF by VT ratio will give me the A beta value. A beta, where A is your what, A is your R naught, because it is V out by I in. Okay, and then beta is your GM F. I will not write GM because GM is transconductance. GMF means transconductance value of the feedback network. Okay, so this is your VF by VT, and then here it is shown R total. Okay, it is shown what will be the output resistance. So output resistance here RD divided by 1 plus A beta. Okay, where this is your beta and this was your gain. Okay, gain A, because it is a common gate amplifier, so in terms of this one we can calculate. Okay, gain of the common gate is AMGM amplifier. Now if you see here, this common gate is transformed in voltage to current form by attaching a current source instead of giving a V in as a voltage. Okay, it's simply your current to voltage converter. Okay, parallel R and I will give you a voltage in series with resistance. Now this is another example of voltage current feedback. So here we have to see, first you have to calculate the A beta. What we do, step one is set the input to 0. So what will happen, this will act as a open circuit, then attach VT. This was your feedback. Attach VT, calculate the VF by VT ratio. So VF by VT is what, is just your common source amplifier. So common source amplifier means here R0 is neglected, R0 here is neglected. So what is the gain here? Gain on a common source is your GM 1 into RD, and this is nothing but VF by VT ratio. Okay, that is your GM into RD. Okay, so GM into RD. Okay, right. So what is happening, VGM into RD, and now this VT. Okay, GM into RD we have calculated. So now what will be the input and output resistance? Since it is a voltage to current feedback, that is V to I, this means it is a nothing but your shunt configuration. Shunt and input also shunt. Shunt means your R will decrease, your R will decrease. So that's why your input and output resistance both are increasing. What is the input resistance seen here? Input resistance will be standing here, what I will see with respect to ground, RF, and standing here what I will see with respect to ground is RD. So RF will decrease by value of 1 plus GMRD, and RD also will decrease by 1 plus GMRD. Okay, now the third form is current to voltage feedback. This means input is current and output is voltage, so it will sense current and it will return voltage. So you see here at the feedback, this is your feedback network. Now since it is current to voltage, that is your I by V, so what should be unit? Unit is mho, and this is nothing but your GM. So that's why your feed forward amplifier is called your GM. In order to cancel out GM, I need what? Ohm, mho. So mho means we are calculating about R. So this is your feedback network. Okay, so this is your feedback network beta value. Now once I decided what type of feed forward is there, what type of feedback is there, now to decide what type of connection, so we have to sense current. So sensing current means I have to add the output, because current will flow only in a loop. If we do parallel connection, then we cannot, because a current division will take place. I have to extract the current from the output. A series connection is there, so it will take the current and then it will generate a voltage. So when a voltage generated, again a series connection is there. So this is a series configuration, so it is called a series configuration. Second observation, since it is a series connection, okay, and this is connected like an ammeter, so effective resistance must be there low, and here also a series connection, so effective resistance must be low. So now, so apart from that, other observation, what is the effect on overall the feed forward amplifier? Since the feed forward amplifier gain is gained by GM, so GM will reduce by what quantity? 1 plus A beta, that is nothing but your 1 plus, what is A here? Here is your GM and beta is your RF. So it will reduce by 1 plus GM value. Again, if you see at the input side, there is a series configuration. Series configuration means what will happen? My input resistance will increase, the effective input resistance will increase. Also at the output, series is there, so effective output will also decrease, because series means it will get added up to the existing resistance. Okay, then the fourth observation, Fourth was is your current feedback. Again, we have to sense the current and return the current. Sense the current means again a series connection will be there. Sensing means series connection, and we have to return the current in the input. So in the input we have to add or subtract the current. This means we have to do the shunt configuration. So what type of configuration it will call as a shunt series? So it is called shunt series configuration. Now what type of amplifier it is? Current to current ratio. We are taking I out by I in. So it is nothing but your current amplifier. Current amplifier means it is unitless. Okay, quantity is unitless. This means what? My beta should be also unitless. Okay, so that's why beta has no unit. So when we will design the amplifier and if any feedback element is there, that must also the unit should cancel out. This is the first one. Second, it is called shunt series configuration. The third, the gain, the overall gain is given by AI. So this AI should reduce by what? It should reduce by A1 plus A beta, that is 1 plus AI into beta. And output resistance, what will happen to the input and output resistance? The input we have seen, what is input is happening in the input side. What is happening? Input to the, this is your input side. So what is happening to the input side? It is having a, sorry, overall amplifier we are calculating input resistance. So input not here, input of the amplifier, sorry, wrong drawn, wait a minute, eraser, draw, 1 minute. So we are talking about input resistance. So what will happen to the input? So what will happen to the input resistance? Since input is having shunt configuration, at this side the input is having shunt configuration, the effective resistance of the amplifier will decrease, and at the output there is a series configuration. So what will happen to the effective resistance? The effective resistance will increase. Okay, the effective resistance will increase. So this is your current feedback. Okay, and then this is the example given here. Output is your output variable is your I out, and input variable is your I in. So it is your current amplifier, which is your I out by I in. So today what we have analyzed, total to 4 types of feedback will be there: voltage to current to voltage, or current feedback. So based on all these 4 configurations, you have to decide what is the output variable, what is the input variable. So once I know what is the output by input variable, taking the ratio, I can decide which type of amplifier it is. It is voltage amplifier, it is trans impedance, trans conductance, or current amplifier. When this is analyzed, then we'll analyze the units. What is the feed forward amplifier? If it is a voltage form, or we have taking the voltage input voltage and output also voltage, this means your gain is unitless for the feed forward, also the beta is unitless. If it is a voltage to current, if it input is voltage, output is current, this means your feed forward is having a unit of maho. This means your beta will be of ohm, because they should cancel out each other. Similarly, the third case current to voltage, and then the fourth case current to current. So once I decide all the units, then we will look for the impedances modification. If it is a series, if it is, if we, the overall, if the configuration of the beta is done in series fashion, either in the input or the output, the impedance will increase. If the beta is introducing a shunt configuration, the output resistance, the input or resistance, or the output, the resistance will decrease. This means a series introduction by the beta will increase the impedance, a shunt introduction by the beta will reduce the impedance. Then the bandwidth will always introduce, the bandwidth will always increase by the factor of 1 plus A beta. A is your the feed forward amplifier gain, and beta is your feedback gain. Okay, feedback value, it depends upon the configuration of the amplifiers. So these 4 types of feedbacks we have seen. No, still till now we have done all the analysis assuming there is no loading of the beta on the amplifier, but in all the configuration we have seen beta is connected and it is changing the impedances. This means definitely there must be some loading effect, because beta will also extract some current from the amplifier when we are calculating the open loop gain. So in the next class we'll see what is the loading effect of beta on the feed forward amplifier, because when I will design the beta, I should know in which model I should design so that it should fulfill the criteria of my feed forward amplifier. So that is very very important to know that, because all the networks whatever we are designing, we are still considering only two port networks. So again, in whenever we talk about two port, there are four types of two port network: your impedance, admittance, G model and H model. So four configurations have different applications, where which one will fit, that we'll see in the next class. So right now we'll stop here. Okay, so so any doubt in this you can post now.